back and relax.
Ladies and gentlemen, as he just said, sit back and relax. It has been awesome to do every single one of these mock drafts, and we are live with the last one, number 7.
Yes.
Let's get started with it. We're going to be doing,
Right away.
I guess Ben's picking odds. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be salty about it. He's going to be picking for my Bears. I'm going to be picking for his Eagles. And also, we will be doing realistic trades. So, yeah, without further ado, I think, honestly, if my team owns the pick or whatever, just make it realistic. I don't care if I pick for that at all. I'm not going to act like I'm the GM or anything like that. I like that
I don't
aspect.
know. I don't know. I think you should, but as long as it's like nothing crazy. And then again, the way that we've been doing
Okay.
it for those who have just like for some reason this is your first one. If this is your first
We
one, go back
totally
and
ad
listen
lib
to
it.
the other ones. Yeah, we absolutely do upload it. Go back and listen to the other ones. But the way we do it here, like if let's say I pick at 1, Ryan picks at 2, and we're not going to do this. But if I wanted to trade with Ryan, Ryan would still keep the Texans pick, and I would
Mhm.
still keep the Panthers pick. So we're keeping the picks even if we trade out of like the technical spot. Anyways, that being said, I've said it even when they were talking about CJ Stroud. Bryce Young's the best quarterback in this class, point blank, period. Bryce Young should be the pick here. I think Bryce Young will be the pick here.
All right.
There's nothing more to say about it. So
Texans. Now, I'm hearing that they're not really sold on Stroud. And so as a
it's
result,
wild.
Richardson, I feel like it's a little too early. Levis, definitely too early. I'm just going to pick what I think is the best player remaining, and that's going to be Will Anderson here at 2.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. If you asked me today what the Texans were going to do, it'd be drafting Will Anderson or Jalen Carter at 2 and trading a third round pick for Trey Lance. So,
Yep.
well, my pick's going to be, if you are a team that wants to trade up, I'm more than okay with it. I couldn't see the Raiders doing it. It's been a common thing, but if there's a team that you would want as you owning
I
them,
want to show
absolutely.
you. For some reason, it doesn't show you exactly what teams are interested. So I'm
Yeah.
cycling through that right now. I just
Yeah, you're all
realized that.
good.
But all right. I don't know if you're going to be trading out or anything, but
Well, I'm looking to trade out if there's any teams that you own that you think. I mean, I think the Raiders could do it. But that's really the only team. I mean, I could see the Titans doing it, but I don't want it. This is the realistic draft, so
realistic.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do it. But I
I'm
could
going
if
to
this was last week, I probably would. But it's okay. I'm totally okay here, fine with picking a guy on the board.
hold on. Let me
So,
think.
and honestly, I think the 3 best players go if you don't trade out here, which it should be.
Well, since only one quarterback was taken, obviously
yeah,
the phones are ringing off the hook for these guys.
yeah.
So somebody's got to be thinking quarterback at 3. I would say
It's okay. I'll pick here at 10, and I think this is the order that it should have been, and I think it finally goes. What did I say?
you said 10, but yeah.
It's because I'm used to picking the Eagles pick. I'm picking here at 3. If you would have asked me right when the Super Bowl ended, these probably would have been the 3 picks that I would have went with, and I'm going with Jalen Carter.
All right. I'm just going to move these
Yep,
down a little bit there.
yep.
That way everybody could see a little bit better here. So, with the Colts, now they could go several different directions here. I would trade back if I was them though.
With all the
Because
quarterbacks on the board, why not?
absolutely, and there's plenty of different options as well that you could go with. Hypothetically, what you could do, I would say I would even ask the Raiders, are you interested in moving up to 4? Because in my mind, you couldn't get a deal done in time for 3. You still like a guy. Obviously, the Colts are like, hey, I could take that. I could take a quarterback. That's definitely a need that I have. But at this point, with the Colts, you have the leverage, and falling down to 7 would not be a terrible option.
Yeah.
So I'm asking the Raiders, hey Ben, What do you think of this pick?
Well, and I mean, to your point, I mean, all the rumors that have been surrounding this point is that the Colts love Will Levis, and
Hmm.
if you're the Colts, you have to think to yourself, I can get Will Levis at 7. So it
Hmm.
makes complete sense for this to do it. If I'm the Raiders, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I don't know, just whip up something, 7 and 30, 38. I think 738
I
and
would
like,
say to outbid everybody and use the
yeah,
leverage,
I was gonna
give
say
me
7.
38 and then
Mm,
say a future second.
yep, that's what I was thinking too.
So here's
So,
that. And then the Raiders are on the clock.
yeah, well, we have a guy here in our building. So right now, Jimmy, we went out, we signed him. So I'm gonna swing for the dude I think that has the best upside in this entire class, because he can sit back and doesn't have to be thrown in the fire right away. I'm going Anthony Richardson,
All
which is
right.
wild because I usually cycle him as like my QB4. So he's going 2, and in this situation, absolutely.
Yeah. Ben, you're also on the clock here at 5 for
I
Seattle.
am also on the clock here at 5. Um, Oh, this is an easy pick for me. There should be no other player going through Seattle's head right now. This is absolutely Tyree Wilson. And there shouldn't be any other player here if Tyree Wilson. The board falls this way. Tyree Wilson should be the pick here at 5.
At 6, the Lions are on the clock here, and I've heard plenty of times that they're in love with Devon Witherspoon. I'm going to go ahead and give them Witherspoon here at 6.
It's also you here.
Yes, it is. So, as you said too, Levis is available and Stroud is also available here. Obviously, you've got to make a decision because if you fall too far, Stroud or Levis could be gone at 11.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think Levis personally, I think he could fall, but ultimately, I don't think the Colts are going to strike out. They already got 2 second-round picks, and one was pretty high one. Take Levis while you still can, and reload while you can as well.
Mm-hmm. Um.
This is me again. So,
Yeah.
um, with the even numbers and everything, back on
Tempting.
the clock here at 8.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons, I mean, they signed Taylor Heineke, kind of replaced him with Mariota, or replaced
Ritter.
Mariota with him. I mean, obviously, according to PFF, you're looking at wide receivers, but also an edge rusher. I don't consider wide receiver as big of a need as quarterback or edge rusher. I think that they've got a lot of defensive needs, but they've gotten better. And the one thing that you should do when you get better is draft a quarterback. And I think it's crazy that he's still on the board considering
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis went first. Give me CJ here at 8.
As a Bears GM, I'm punching the air right now.
Yeah.
As a Bears GM, if CJ Stroud is on the board at 9, I'm absolutely trading out of that.
Hmm.
I'm looking to trade back. So, like, I mean, if I have to, I'm looking. If it's a good enough offer, I'd trade all the way back to 19.
Yeah.
And if I get offered a future first, 19 and future first and like a second or something, absolutely, I'm trading back. But he's gone now. I'm still going to look for a trade back opportunity.
Hmm.
And I'm actually looking at a team that I already own. Um, I'm if I'm the Jets, I see, oh my goodness, the Eagles and the Titans both need not need offense, but one needs offensive tackle and one's commonly mocked offensive tackle. And if you're the Jets, you think to yourselves, I need an offensive tackle. I want to get my choice. I'm going to trade up a few spots with the Bears and get my guy. I'm thinking 13 and 43 probably gets it done. It's just a first. Honestly, if you're the Bears in real life, you're probably like, give me 42. Um, if you want to do 42 instead of 43, that's fine. It doesn't
I
bother me
say
either
we do
way.
42,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I think if you're the Bears, you'd be like, I want 42.
The way that I would think about that from the Bears is that if I'm going to trade with you and then you're going to give me either 42 or 43, I'm not going to let you pick ahead of me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So this is what I'm doing, and I want to jump the Bears, and I want to get the offensive tackle of my choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to get too technical with it. Let's just do that. And because at the end of the day, they're getting a first round pick swap, and then they're going to be getting a
Mhm.
second round pick probably
Yeah.
as well. So,
So, Yeah, well, I'm taking my off. So if I needed offensive tackle and guard, I probably would have went Peter here, but I'm taking the pure best tackle in this class, and that is wow, he's all the way down. Oh my goodness, Paris Johnson, and I think he could step in and protect. Oh, hopefully Aaron Rodgers.
Dang
So,
it, man. Okay. So yeah, here at 11, you know, um, clearly, I mean, you're looking at offensive line, you're looking at wide receivers as well. As they drafted Traylon Burks in the first. I picture a slide for first round wide receivers. So I don't think that the Titans are going to be picking wide receiver here, but I do see Peter Skoronski coming off the board here for the Titans.
absolutely. And this is where it starts getting really interesting. Um, if you were the Texans, you were hoping that one of the quarterbacks could have fallen all the way down to 12. Um, but that just didn't happen. Now I'm looking to really go who I think the best player available is. But they drafted the best player available in my mind is Bijan, but they're not taking Bijan this high. They drafted Damian Pierce in like the third round last year. They're thinking to themselves, we have no need for that. Um, they don't need tackle. They have Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil. I would have went Lucas, but they went Will Anderson number 2.
I got to say this really quick while you're thinking. For some reason, if you guys are watching on YouTube, my cursor was focused on the Titans, and for some reason, because I'm exhausted, probably, I pictured like I was picking for the Titans instead of the Eagles. Let me just give a slight explanation as to why Peter Skoronski's deal makes sense. Lane Johnson's getting up there in age. You gave him a 1-year extension. It was a pretty pricey extension. Why not get a tackle that can learn behind him that's also pretty solid as well? Get some discipline under probably the best offensive line in football right now. Get him while you still can, and a pretty solid prospect. Arguably the number 1 tackle in the draft, but I could see Paris being that guy. I love Paris to death, though.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you had me
just
all
some
turned
people
around
do
here
think
too.
Peter.
Yeah.
But,
I was thinking of the tech. It was all jumbled up. But well, to your point too. Like the thing about Peter is like he could be an All-Pro guard as well, and the Eagles lost a guard. So even if you want Peter to play right away, you could say go and play guard, and then if Lane Johnson gets hurt or something, or Lane Johnson moves on, then you slide over to tackle. So he doesn't even have to step in and play tackle right away. He can come in and get that playing time immediately at right guard.
Right next to Jason Kelce.
Right next to, well, I mean, that's the best place to be in, right? You're in between the best tackle, in my opinion, the best tackle in football, Lane Johnson, the dude who hasn't let a sack up in 3 years, the best tackle in football, and the best center in football. Yeah. So if anyone's going to teach you how to play the position, it's going to be those 2 guys. Well, now that I am the Titans, because for some reason I thought it was the Texans, everything was all jumbled up. I'm still going offensive line then, and I'm there that one of these guys isn't here. I've kind of been on a kick for Darnell Wright recently, but I think I'm going to go Broderick Jones, just to spice it up. But I do think if you're looking for a right tackle, absolutely, without a doubt, go with Broderick or go with Darnell Wright. But Broderick Jones, yeah.
So the
tackle
Texans,
run there, huh?
The Texans, they moved on an edge rusher at number 2 overall. They didn't trade back. Right here, believe it or not, I mean, in a second first round pick opportunity, you can get somebody. But if I'm the GM of the Texans, I'm looking to move back again. Capitalize, still be able to utilize that first round pick because that's not a common thing to have multiple in the first round. But I think if you could build the team around more draft capital, maybe even make a trade somewhere down the line, or not even that as far as like a player goes, but just being able to draft more players with the tools that you have. So right here, I mean, looking at what's available at the moment, clearly there's I think a good corner here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna that's the wrong button. I'm gonna look at the Commanders, okay, and I'm gonna ask them. Now, there's a couple teams here. I mean, Chicago's picking at 13. They could use a corner. And I mean, at the commander spot, they need a corner, and Christian Gonzalez is sitting literally
Mm-hmm.
right there. So I mean, I'm looking at the Commanders and saying, do you want to improve your secondary or not? You need to jump 4 spots to be able to do it. And the Patriots as well, they had a pretty great run defense, but their passing defense was where it was lacking as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they can also use some secondary help. There's plenty of ammunition and leverage that the Texans would have in this situation to jump 4 spots in the mid tier, range. I would be asking, I would say,
Yeah.
give
Yep.
me that third, and then I would say maybe like a
Fifth next year.
2024 fourth.
Fourth. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying third right now.
Well, I was thinking fifth. I was thinking 2024 fifth. But if you want to do fourth, that's okay.
I'm gonna say fourth here and
Mm-hmm.
move the Commanders up to 12, where I'm gonna take Gonzo here at 12.
Woo. This is where it gets really hard. Because now if you're the Bears, you could also be like, I want to trade back again. But there are two guys here that I think if you're in love with the prospect, you go and get your guy. And while I'm not in love with one, there's one prospect I'm absolutely in love with, and then there's one that I know people are in love with that I'm not. And as the owner of this pick, Ryan, I'm going to give you 2 constraints, but you're the Bears fan here. So I'm going to give you 2 players to pick from, and you go ahead and you make the pick. And again, we'll count it as my pick.
Yeah.
I'm really deciding here between Bijan and Lucas Van Ness, and it's how much do you?
Yeah.
I was leaning a little bit towards Lucas because the whole Eberflus and he's the defensive guy, and all that stuff. But there you go, made it nice and easy.
It's Bijan every day of the week, and
I
and the
agree.
thing is,
Bijan's my number. Bijan is my favorite prospect in this draft. I think he's the best prospect in this draft. So I would have went Bijan, but I know Bears fans love Luke. Like some Bears fans, love Lucas Van Ness.
personal bias aside, because obviously Lucas Van Ness is somebody I'd like to root for, and he
He's
also
dating
has
Cole's
personal.
sister, right?
Yeah, he's got roots in that area for sure. But like I said on the podcast, so give it a listen if you haven't already. You're making your first round pick, and it needs to be a home run. Make yourself known and say, I'm keeping this job. Give yourself a pretty dominant running back in the first round. You picked up a second round pick as well. You can designate that in other areas such as tackle, such as wide receiver, even interior offensive line. I mean, this is something that Ryan Poles can't pass up on, and that would be perfect in that situation. I mean, honestly, Bears Twitter is going to be in flames, but just a couple weeks later, you're going to be seeing a lot of Robinson jerseys in Chicago. So don't even worry about it. And 14 for the Patriots pick. Something that I've seen, they did use a top 30 visit on him. I am taking Van Ness here. I'm going to take it. I think that they're going to upgrade their pass rush here. I mentioned that their pass defense needs help, and rushing the quarterback is going to do that just as well. So take your bull rusher.
This is where it's
You're going to make it bittersweet on me here, aren't you?
Well, maybe. So I'm, and obviously you're going to be a little bit biased here as a Bears fan. But I'm the Packers, and I'm thinking to myself, there are 2 guys on this board that I love, and that's between Dalton Kincaid and Jackson Smith-Njigba. And as the Packers GM, I'm saying to myself, I love both of them. I'm leaning towards Jackson Smith-Njigba, but I would absolutely be fine with Dalton Kincaid. So whoever the GM is, I'm like, I can't think of his name right now. I'm making a call to the Texans. I'm saying, I'm Brian, and I'm making the call to the Texans and saying, I'm taking Jackson Smith-Njigba right here, unless you want to trade 1 pick with me and give me your, I don't know, your fourth. Give me your fourth. You can have Jackson. It'll be great. We know you need wide receiver. That's your biggest need right now outside of corner, but there's no quarterbacks on the board you like. That's what I'm saying. It's hard for you to be unbiased here as a Bears fan, but you're the Packers, and again, you love 2 guys, and you're okay. And if you're getting an extra fourth out of it, why not?
Take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Take it. Absolutely take it. Take 73.
Yeah.
That's
73.
Cleveland's
Not
pick.
665 is really high for one spot. So
Yeah.
73. Yeah.
Take 73, and I'm taking it just because I hate this.
Yeah.
Don't make
So
that a
I.
reality. Don't make that out of spite. Look, the Packers are that petty team too, and they'll do it. They'll let
Mhm.
go of Aaron, and they'll be like, "Hey, buddy, we just drafted a wide receiver." You know what I mean? And not
Mhm.
only that, but like with this whole situation surrounding the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, if you do draft a wide receiver in the first round, does it maybe fix the bridge that you just burnt? Who knows? Anyways, you're
So
looking at 16. The
yeah.
Packers are on the clock. Now
Yeah.
it's got to
Packers on
be
the
this.
clock here. It's easy. Yep, that's what I was saying. There's two guys that I absolutely love there at that pick. That was between Kincaid and JSN. Obviously, Texans just took JSN, so we're gonna take Kincaid. I also own the pick here. This one is nice and easy. It's a chalk pick. I know it's boring. It's the pick we've made all the time. I'm sorry for our listeners who stay tuned here, but if he's on the board, they're going here. CB is an absolute need for him. The Steelers here at 17. Um, Joey Porter has ties. Joey Porter Sr. played with the Titans or played with the Steelers his time there. Why not? It's not like they're reaching on him. Joey Porter is an amazing corner. They need him. That mixed with it could be him and Deontay Banks, and they're neck and neck. But with Porter having the ties there, absolutely.
Yeah. So with Cansey falling, I mean, he didn't have a top 30 visit. I can absolutely see Brian Breesy having this pick
Mm-hmm.
as well. I'm gonna go ahead and go Breesy here at 18 and just solidify that defense just a little bit more because that was definitely the point of emphasis. As
Mm-hmm.
players keep falling, I mean, Detroit, I believe, has an early second round pick as well, so they could definitely pick up a solid wide receiver early in the second.
Absolutely. To keep the ball rolling here, to make it nice, short, and sweet. I'm a little lower on Nolan Smith, but that being said, if there's anyone for Nolan Smith to learn from, it's Shaq Barrett, a dude who's the exact same size as him and plays the exact same game as him. So if anyone's going to draft Nolan Smith and for Nolan Smith to learn from anyone, it should be Shaq Barrett. So I'll make it nice and easy here. Nolan
All
Smith at
right.
19.
All right. Um, hmm. I'm thinking here. So we said that it was going to be realistic, and I want to have fun with it, but at the same exact time, I want to be realistic. And
I'll let you know if it's too wild.
I was going to say Quentin Johnson here because of the
I
aging Tyler
absolutely.
Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, having Johnston and DK and Lockett for at least 1 year, not a bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it too outlandish?
No,
Do I
I don't.
go?
I think they could. I think they. If JSN was here at the board at 20, I think they would have took him.
Cool. So
And
it's
for, I
Quentin
mean,
Johnson is the pick.
Quentin Johnston has the same body type and play style as DK. So if he's going to learn from anyone, just like Shaq Barrett and Nolan Smith, it'll be DK and Quentin.
Yeah.
I guess there's going to be a little bit of a run on wide receivers here. They're going to the quickest guy. I'm not going to say the fastest guy because the fastest guy in the draft is probably Hyatt, but I don't like Hyatt. I think this is an easy pick to make. Zay Flowers here. He's the quickest guy. He comes in and fits. Him catching bombs from Herbert is going to be fun.
All right. So I'm just throwing wide receiver out the window when it
At
comes to
this point, you
needs.
have to. Yeah.
Yeah. And so at this point, I'm looking more so at the secondary then. I'm going, I mean, let me look at
Oh,
who's available here really quick.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got to
I
be Deontay Banks
Yeah,
then.
absolutely. And it makes the whole Maryland connection too makes sense. They lost Marcus Peters.
Yeah.
Keep the dude in Maryland. So
Yeah. All right.
um
This just makes too much sense to me.
I
But
know, I know. As much as I don't want to do it, they lost Adam Thielen. It's an easy pick. Yeah, it's gonna be Jordan Addison here to the Vikings. So
the Jags now, I
there's a
mean,
pick
they're
here.
kind of
I really
scratching their heads here.
Yeah, really.
But at the same exact time, I would really like Miles Murphy here if you're a
It'd be so
Jags fan.
fun. It would be so much fun.
I'm taking him.
Okay, well, it's nice because if you're the Giants, you were really really scared Brian Branch was going to go off the board there at 24. So the fact that
Mhm.
Branch made it here, let me see, is it just Josh Downs left, right?
Yes. Yep. For
Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, if one of the wide receivers was there, I definitely would have went them. But there's not a wide receiver here that I think is worthy of a first round pick. So I'm gonna go, in my opinion, BPA. And that's Brian Branch, and he just so happens to also be a need.
Yeah. So the Cowboys here, they're really hoping Bijan didn't get off the board so early.
Yeah.
Since I mean, for some reason, PFF just kind of mocks them to, as far as running backs go. They were going to go Bijan, super late in the 20s. We're taking Jahmyr Gibbs here at 26, though. So
I like it.
here for the Cowboys.
So, and if you are the Cowboys, also if you're Cowboys fans, he's no longer on the board now at this point. If Kincaid is here, Cowboys fans, that could be a name you guys could hear called. And Mozzie Smith is also a name that's commonly mocked there. And the only reason I bring that up is because this is the last draft or the last mock, and those are two guys that really stand out to me. This one's this was actually really easy. It's funny that I said Mozzie Smith because that's where I'm going to go with this pick. Dude is going to step in right away and be the elite run defender that they're missing, and that's literally the reason that they lost their games, because they could not stop the run. That's why they got out in the playoffs. So
the Bengals, I'm sorry, they lost Hayden Hurst in free agency. So now we're getting Michael Mayer here at 28.
I like it. I don't know where to go here.
Saints are on the board.
Yeah. Saints are on the board here. As much as I'm pretty out on Kancey here, but they need a D tackle. I'm sorry, Matt. I don't know how you feel about this, but we're going Kancey.
I mean, I think we've said in the group chat that they're going to screw this up somehow, right?
Yeah. The Saints are going to find a way to be the Saints.
So the Eagles are on the clock again. How do you feel about? Never mind. I was gonna say
we already went an offensive line.
Right. I was gonna say, how do you feel about like a third string wide receiver here?
No,
but
not with these guys on the board.
No, yeah, that's why I said never mind too. Honestly, I hope that you're not gonna be upset at this, man, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna draft.
It's a chalk pick. It's a pick that
almost like a BPA, but anyways. Will McDonald here for the Eagles.
To round out our last mock.
I think I know. I have a guy that might be on your head. Probably not. Oh wait, BJ could go here, honestly.
That's kind of the edge I'm thinking of. If you want to just scroll down to the early can you see round 2 at all? Can you see the round 2 picks or no?
Oh, they block it off.
That's a shame. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I can't think of anything that comes into my head immediately in terms of this. But now we're here at the end of the draft. Teams usually try to sneak into, this is just like a forewarning. I'm not going to do it. But teams usually try to.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I know you can't see it, but
yeah, well, no, I can't think of anything, so that's why I'm not going to do it. But like what Ryan's trying to get at here, and what I'm trying to get at here, to just wrap it up and say it quickly. Teams usually try to sneak, if there's a prospect that a team really, really loves, and the Chiefs or the Eagles or the Saints don't have someone that they really love. Teams usually try to trade it in the back end of round 1, so they can get that 5th year on their contract. I can't think of anyone that I love very much in a team that fits super well. And I'm gonna do a dude who fits the scheme perfectly because they lost a dude in his same type this offseason. I'm gonna go with edge rusher BJ Ojolari.
All right. So that will wrap up
draft season.
And what's more fitting than PFF not loading? Anyways, cool. So without further ado, unfortunately, the Draft Network didn't finish in time before the draft.
I know.
But that'll do it for the mock drafts of this offseason. So we will see you guys in 2024 for our mock drafts. Otherwise, we will see you guys on a weekly basis. on hopefully every Wednesday, barring any kind
Yes.
of scheduling conflicts or changes. But yes, without further ado, this has been Pigskin's Pick'em Mock Drafts, and we will see you guys next week. Take it easy, guys.